The offensive lineup, well,
yeah. Well, all right. So let's stick here with the blowouts because I did want to. It was a conversation point, and we should address it in a concerted, condensed way. I hear that's good. I do think
and condensed.
Yeah, I do think there are valid reasons to look at the results from the first round and say something is wrong. I think that your point that it mimics what we got about the what we got from the previous format is 100% fair. But like I don't want to cut you off because Tom's been discussing this for weeks at this point. Yeah. A fair seeding of the bracket. How about this? A fair seeding of the bracket might not change first round blowouts, but it might save us from 2 rounds of blowouts. Mm-hmm. Tom, does that sound fair?
Yeah, I mean, I the big takeaway from this weekend shouldn't be which teams deserve to be in and which teams shouldn't have been in to begin with, which is what everybody's been arguing about. It should just be that we need to get rid of conference titles for the buys. Just do it straight up based on the ranking. The top 4 teams get buys. Everybody else plays in the first round. Because at least theoretically that sets up more competitive matchups. Because you look at what happened this year with both Boise and Arizona State getting buys. Notre Dame probably is a top 4 seed. They blow out Indiana. They probably weren't playing this weekend if you just go straight off of rankings. Penn State may not have played this weekend. If it was Penn State that didn't get the top 4, it might have been Ohio State who got a top 4. So you're saving yourself, or Texas, you're saving yourself these kind of situations where you're getting all these double-digit kind of games in the first round, and then you're saving it for the second round because now Penn State's moving on to play Boise, and who's playing, and then Texas is playing Arizona State. There's a high likelihood we're going to get 2 more blowouts next week, and that kind of sucks. So you could kind of at least mitigate it. You're never going to avoid them, but at least that format would probably do more to lessen the likelihood. But another factor worth considering is these games were all on campus. It wasn't just 4 blowouts. It was the 4 home teams blowing out the road teams. So next week, when we get to a neutral site, that might neutralize some of the blowouts itself. Although, of course, in the 4-team playoff, every game was at a neutral site, and we still had blowouts.
So I absolutely love that, like, the home teams got the blowouts here, because I do think that puts more emphasis on wanting to play for that home game. Hopefully, like, all 4 of these atmospheres kicked ass today. For all this garbage, people are like, oh, they're not going to sell out these tickets and stuff. Any of these stadiums look like they suck to y'all? Because, like, no. They're pretty damn loud, man. Like,
I'm so mad that those people got in cheaper than we thought they would get in. Oh, that makes me so angry.
What kind of terrible, like, loser ass narrative is that? I don't know. I think, like, that helps, like, preserve the regular season importance more, like something to play for. And I do still think that if we're going to have conference championship games, you got to have them, like, count for something. So like being able to play your way in off them makes sense. But I think to Tom's point, yeah, you should probably have to be top 6 in the committee rankings to get the automatic bye. I think like if you're 6 and you win your conference, I think that's fine to be in. But I think if you are, like, outside the top 12, basically, to get a bye, that seems a little bit extreme, right?
And conference champs still get an automatic berth. Treat it the same way they do the NCAA tournament.
Yes.
Like, you win the Mid-American Athletic Conference, you get the bid, but nobody's saying, oh, they have to be in the top 4 seed.
Right.
No, but we are definitely picking them to knock off whatever lame-ass 5 seed. It's going to be sitting there in the Midwest, ready to get taken down.
Get the hell out of here, Creighton.
Come on. Ohio's coming for that ass. Unlike the MAC, which is probably going to lose its first round game as a 15 seed. But to your point, right now, already at FanDuel Sportsbook, where you can make every moment more, and we will preview these matchups more specifically a little bit later on. Texas, a 13.5-point favorite against Arizona State. Penn State, a 10.5-point favorite against Boise State. Those are 2 teams that received buys to the second round based on the format and find themselves as double-digit underdogs in the matchups where they are a top 4 seed.
Penn State is a bigger favorite against Boise at a neutral site than it was at home against SMU.
which if you played that game again, do we think that would be the case?
No.